got a lot of priorities. And so where it falls in that total list for me is not at the top of the list. It's someplace in the middle. But we can certainly have the conversation. Look, don't forget, over 80% of the General Assembly voted for the current congressional maps. And I don't frankly like them very well. But given the alternatives, most people determined that these were fair, particularly when you were losing 2 congressional seats. You lost a Democrat and you lost a Republican. The big thing that a lot of people liked was the Central Ohio Joyce Beatty seat that was drawn. Do I particularly like the fact that my home county was split 3 ways? I know Mercer County is such a big population center of 40,000 people, but am I happy it was split 3 ways? No. But those are the kind of things I'd like to see us cut down. I'd like to see us figure out how to eliminate, and I think the rules that we did for legislative redistricting can help with that. But it's a very complicated issue, and I don't want to get off track. I mean, we've got a lot of other things that to me take priority. Jobs in the economy, workforce training, some of the things we're going to do with regard to public records, some of the things we're going to do with regard to making government agencies and state government agencies accountable and making sure we're being transparent and not duplicative. Some of the things we're talking about doing in a number of other areas. Those are the things that in the short term are going to be our priorities between now and May. Now look, we can have the conversation on other things. I always say the legislature, particularly the Senate and the House, can chew gum and walk at the same time. So if somebody wants to work on it, we're happy to have that conversation. Other questions?
Did the governor sound like the president to you guys on stage?
Look, I'm biased. I'm a John Kasich delegate. I've traveled, I think, 9 or 10 states for him. I think I'm going back up to Michigan on Friday. I'm a John Kasich believer. So I think he sounded presidential, but I think he's been president. When you look to me as to what a president needs to have, one, they need common sense. They need the understanding that the states are the laboratories of democracy. It isn't some magical mystery machine in D.C. that causes things to happen. The reality is it's the states, and that's why the Speaker, and I think most of the legislators standing up here on this stage, joined over 80 other state legislative leaders from around the country and sent a letter to all of our presidential candidates, by the way, Democrat and Republican, asking them to agree to 5 very simple principles, defining states as the laboratories of democracy. One, block granting things back to us like Medicaid, transportation, and education. Number 2, constitutional federal balanced budget amendments. Number 3, meaningful federal tax reform that allows the state to unhinge our own tax codes. Number 4, regulatory reform at the federal level. It doesn't try and impose unnecessary restrictions on the states. And number 5, all important, appointing of federal judges that respect the states' rights to govern themselves. Look, we've got federal judges that want to come in and tell states what they have to do on things that historically have been state issues. Those are the things that a large number, a growing list of legislative speakers and presidents and majority leaders from all over the country are saying are important. You want to unencumber the economic potential of this country, re-empower the states. John Kasich believes in all of those things. And the reason I go down through that list is Kasich's agreed. I haven't heard from some of the others yet. But in the end, John Kasich, in my mind, is fit to be president. More importantly, he's got the temperament, the talent, and frankly, he's got the experience necessary to make a good president.
All right.